All right, hey everybody, Daniel here. Thanks for joining me today. Today's practice is going to be a little bit of some of the stuff we've been working on in my other classes, the live classes, for the month of July. And for the month of July, what I've been trying to facilitate is getting the body prepared to sit for seated meditation. So for me, that means there's going to be a little bit of everything, but a little bit more emphasis on getting into the hips and the legs. So not just building flexibility, but also adding in a little bit of strength in some subtle ways. And this practice, there won't be any chaturanga. Going to opt for a lot of locust or plank. But if you wanted to throw in chaturanga, that is more than fine. The reason I like doing a little bit more locust is it really strengthens the entire backside of the body. And since we're going to be stretching that out, it's also nice to find that counterbalance. Also, that being said, right, there will be a lot of forward folding, so not as much back bending, so it's nice to kind of throw it in and do it in a very active way throughout the sequence. So without any further ado, just start to come into a comfortable seat. And as you come into your comfortable seat, you can have your legs kind of in easy pose, so ankle in front of ankle. You could also come into Baddha Konasana right off the bat if you feel like your body is prepared. And some of you might come into a modified straddle, so taking the feet wide with the knees bent. Or you could even come into a straddle if you feel like that's something that you want to explore right off the bat. And just some sort of a seat with your feet out in front of you. If you want to sit on any sort of a prop to help tilt the pelvis forward a little bit, that's totally fine. That's a nice choice. You can use a blanket or a pillow. But from there, just really feel for drawing your sits bones back. So you can just push into the floor to do so and kind of shift the weight forward, or you can just get right in there and scoop out the sits bones and draw them back. And then it's going to be hands on your thighs and start to make circles around the perimeter of your hips. So as you make these circles, just doing a few in each direction, but as your heart starts to draw forward, feel for reaching your sitting bones, tailbone backwards. And let's start to go the other direction. So pretty big circles, exaggerated motions, but nothing forceful. Right, it's just first couple minutes of class. Then start to draw yourself back to center. And then from there, you're gonna start to roll out your head and your neck. So think chin to chest, ear to shoulder, head to back, ear to shoulder. And start to circle the other way. And as you continue to notice what it feels like to move your body, feel for breathing with all of your lungs. Start to draw yourself back to center, and from there start to make a gentle crisscross with the arms, just alternating which arm is on top. Nice. And then from there, take your hands to your knees, bring the soles of your feet to the floor if they're not there already, and start to do a little bit of a windshield wipe side to side. So I'll keep my hands on the floor behind me, but know that if you ever wanted to work a little bit more stabilization, a little bit more core, you could try doing this without your hands. And just a couple more times, left to right, left to right. And then draw yourself back to center. From there, cross your ankles and walk your hands in front of you, come to a tabletop. And as you arrive in your tabletop, start to explore your cats and cows. So that could be up and down the entire time. Could be more side to side. Literally just feeling it out. Kind of see what your intuition might be telling you. And trying to follow that the best that you can. And start to draw yourself back to center. With the hands underneath your shoulders, reach your right leg back behind you, and then try and keep the leg straight. Firm up your right butt and then just lift your right leg up and down. Let's say for 3, for 2, 1. Keep your leg lifted, little pulses for 3, for 2, for 1. Right leg down to the mat. Reach your left leg back. Try and keep the left leg straight. Firm your left butt. And then lift up and down for 3. You got 2. 1. Keep the leg lifted, little pulses for 3, for 2, for 1. Left leg down to the mat. And then walk your hands forward for a puppy pose. As you walk your hands forward, push into your hands and feel for widening your upper back. Now there's always options for this puppy. You can take the hands a little bit wider if that feels a little more accommodating for your shoulders. And you could also draw your hips a little bit more forward if that feels a little bit better for your shoulders or for your back. Just a couple of slow, steady breaths here. Feel for widening through your upper back. And one more breath. Then start to slowly draw yourself forward onto your belly for a Sphinx pose. Now in your Sphinx pose, hands press down, grip the mat. Energetically slides your heart forward towards your hands. As you draw your shoulder blades together, the front side of the body broadens just a little bit more. And then curl your toes under, begin to lift up your belly, your hips, your thighs, and your knees. Come into plank pose. Draw your belly in, push into the floor, and then start to lower back down to knees, thighs, hips, belly, Sphinx. Then lower all the way down to your belly for locust pose. Reach your arms back behind you. Inhale, lift your heart up, legs up, arms up. Just one breath here. And slowly lower all the way down. 2 more types. Arms out to the side like a little goalpost. Exhale, press the air out of your lungs. And then as you inhale, lift your heart up, legs up, thighs up. Imagine your elbows could kiss behind you. And then slowly lower all the way down. Reach your arms out in front of you. Then one more time, lift your arms up, legs up, heart up, thighs up. One breath there. And then lower all the way down. Press yourself back to a child's pose. And just a reminder, listen to your body throughout the practice. Listen to your breath throughout the practice. And know that if you ever need to take something away, if you ever want to add something in, as long as you're continuing to come back to those 2 points, the body, the breath, and what they're telling you, move from there. It's always a good choice. That'll always point you in the right direction. With all that in mind, start to crawl your hands forward. Curl your toes under. Lift your hips up high, heels low. Come into a down dog. In your down dog, just kind of pedal it out, move it around. And if you need to even anything out, start to even it out. Then bend your knees, look in between your hands, and tiptoe to the top of your mat. Once you get there, hang heavy in a forward fold, and really any sort of forward fold that you want to explore. Bend one knee and the other. You could grab for elbows or interlace your hands at your neck. And then allow everything to release towards the floor, and with a little bend to your knees, start to slowly roll your body up the stand. As you arrive at the top, take one big inhale, squeeze your shoulders to your ears. Then exhale, roll your shoulders down your back and let them soften. Good, and then just taking a moment to close your eyes and taking a moment to really feel your body, to really feel your breath. And then just kind of acknowledging what you want to move closer towards over the course of this practice today, or anything you'd like to invite into the rest of your day, the rest of your week, rest of your life. It's big or small as you'd like. Just having that extra little guide to carry you from shape to shape, breath to breath. Have a really great class. We'll do a few rounds of some different sun salutations. Inhale, stretch your arms up, reach up, look up, get tall. Exhale, dive down, hang heavy, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, refold. Inhale, sweep your arms forward, up, reach up, look up, a little back bend at the top. Exhale, dive down, hang heavy, forward fold. Good. Inhale, half lift, crown of head forward, tailbone reach back. Exhale, refold. Inhale, sweep your arms forward, up, reach up, look up, a little back bend at the top. Exhale, dive down, right back to forward fold. Adding on. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, plants your palms, step your feet back, pause in plank pose. Inhale, push the floor away in your plank. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, push your hands and feet down firmly into the ground. And imagine you're trying to make your mat a little bit longer as you press down through those points. And then just for right now, bend your knees a little bit. Heels might lift. Heels might already be lifted. That's totally fine. But as you bend your knees, feel for reaching your tailbone up towards the sky. I'm going to try and keep that sense of reaching your tailbone, sits bones up. And then you might re-straighten the legs. You might like the way that it feels with bent knees. Both are totally fine. And remember, heels don't have to be down, but they might be. Just keep reaching tailbone and sits bones up. And one more breath here. And then soften your knees, look between your hands, take a step or hop up, top of your mat, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep your arms forward, up, reach up, look up, a little back bend at the top. Exhale, dive down right into your forward fold. Inhale, half lift, lengthen long. Exhale, fold, plant your palms, step your feet back, pause in plank pose. This time, inhale, push the floor away in your plank. Exhale, lower all the way down to your belly, this time for locust pose. Inhale, lift your heart up, legs up, full breath, no rush. Exhale, hands down, press back, downward facing dog, push your mat away. And then come back to those points. Feel your foundation, hands and feet push down. As you continue to reach your hips up high. Knees can be bent, they can be straight. Just prioritize that feeling of sending your sits bones up and away from the backs of your knees. And then notice how the breath is. Try and keep it smooth. And then notice where your focus is. Let it be a choice where you put your attention. Very important. Then when you reach your next inhale, soften your knees, look between your hands. Take a step or hop up, top of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep your arms forward, up, reach up, look up, little back bend at the top. Exhale, dive down, hang heavy, forward fold. Some lunging salutations. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, step your right foot back, release right knee down to the mat lunge. Inhale, lift your hearts up, look up. Exhale, hands down, step your left foot back, pause in plank pose. Inhale, push the floor away in your plank. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. One breath in your down dog, push into the floor as you reach your hips in opposition. Then inhale, raise and reach your right leg up into the air. Keep your leg lifted, take a couple of pulses towards the ceiling for 3. You got 2. 1, step your right foot forward, lower your left knee down to the mat lunge. Inhale, lift your gaze up, full breath. Exhale, step your left foot forward next to your right, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, refold. Inhale, sweep your arms forward, up, reach up, look up, little back bend at the top. Exhale, dive down right into your forward fold, hang heavy. Inhale, half lift, shoulder blades together, tailbone reach back. Exhale, fold, step your left foot back, release left knee down to the mat lunge. This time, inhale, stretch your arms up, reach up, lift out of your waist. Exhale, 2 hands down to the mat. Frame your foot. And straighten through your right leg to the degree you can. Inhale, lift up high through your heart. Exhale, hinge your body forward. Feel for reaching sits bones back and up. Then inhale, rebend your right knee lunge. Exhale, step right foot back next to your left. Pause in plank pose. Inhale, push the floor away in your plank. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. One breath in down dog. Feel the earth, push it away as you continue to reach your hips up towards the sky. Then inhale, raise and reach your left leg up into the air. Keep your leg lifted, little pulses towards the ceiling for 3. Keep grounding through the limbs as you lift your left leg for 2. 1, left foot forward, lower right knee down to the mat lunge. Then inhale, take your arms up, reach up, lift out of your waist. Exhale, 2 hands down, frame your foot, straighten through your left leg to your degree. Inhale, lift your heart up high. Exhale, hinge your body forward, reach your tailbone up and back. Then inhale, rebend your left knee lunge. Exhale, step your right foot forward next to your left forward fold. Inhale, half lift, lengthen. Exhale, refold. Inhale, sweep your arms forward up, reach up, look up, little back bend at the top. Exhale, dive down, hang heavy, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold, plant your palms, step your feet back. Pause in plank pose. Inhale, push the floor away in your plank. Exhale, lower all the way down to your belly for locust pose, this time with arms in goalpost. Inhale, lift your heart up, elbows back, legs up. Exhale, hands down, press back, downward facing dog. In your down dog, inhale, raise and reach your right leg up into the air. Exhale, squeeze your knee to your nose, draw your shoulders forward, round your back. Then inhale, raise and reach your right leg up and back, bend your knees, stack your hip, 3-legged down dog, little twist, a little play. And then inhale, raise and reach your right leg up and back, stretch. Exhale, step your right foot forward, keep your back heel lifted for high crescent lunge. Inhale, arms up, reach up, lift out of your waist. Exhale, 2 hands down, frame your foot. Inhale, sweep your right arm up into the air, twist and reach. Exhale, right hand down to the mat. Straighten through your right leg to the degree you can. Inhale, think half lift through your heart. Exhale, hinge your body forward, feel for reaching, tailbone back. Then inhale, rebend your right knee lunge. Exhale, step your right foot back. Pause in plank pose. Inhale, push the floor away in your plank. Exhale, lower all the way down to your belly for locust with arms out in front. Inhale, lift your heart up, legs up, arms up, full breath. Exhale, hands down, press back, downward facing dog, push your mat away. Inhale, raise and reach your left leg up into the air, stretch. Exhale, squeeze your knee to your nose, round your back. Then inhale, raise and reach your left leg up and back. Bend your knees, stack your hip, open up, 3-legged down dog, little twist. Good. Inhale, raise and reach your left leg up and back. Exhale, step your left foot forward, come into high crescent lunge. Inhale, reach up through the arms, ribs away from waist. Exhale, 2 hands down, frame your foot. Inhale, sweep your left arm up into the air, twist and reach. Exhale, left hand down to the mat, step your left foot back, pause in plank pose. Inhale, push the floor in your plank. Exhale, lower all the way down, 1 more locust. Inhale, any version, lift up away from the floor. Exhale, hands down, press back, downward facing dog. In your down dog, hands and feet push down. Imagine you're trying to make your mat a little bit longer. And then as you find that downward pressure of hands and feet, find that opposition as you reach your hips up towards the sky. Notice how the breath is. Try and smooth it out. And then notice where the focus is. Let it be specific. And then when you reach your next inhale, soften your knees, look between your hands, take a step or hop up, top of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep your arms forward, up, reach up, look up, little back bend at the top. Exhale, dive down, hang heavy, forward fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose, hips down, arms up. Exhale, lower your hips, lower your hips, lower your hips all the way down, Navasana. Bent or straight legs, it's your choice. Inhale, lift your heart up, full breath. Exhale, cross your ankles, rock it forward. Plant your palms, step or hop your feet back. Take yourself through a flow. Remember, you can always take plank. Remember, you can always take locust. And push back to downward facing dog. You got a moment, you got a breath. And then inhale, raise and reach your right leg up into the air, stretch. Exhale, squeeze your knee to your nose, round your spine. Inhale, raise and reach your right leg up and back, bend your knee, open up. Yeah, just a moment. Then inhale, raise and reach your right leg up and back. Exhale, step your right foot forward, come into warrior one. As you enter your warrior one, drive your feet into the floor. Left hip comes forward until it can't come forward anymore, nothing to force. Allow your upper body to finish the rotation towards the top of your mat. Good, and then bring your hands to your hips. Straighten through your right leg for your pyramid. Inhale, lift up high through your heart. Exhale, reach your heart forward as you hinge your body long over your right leg. You can always keep your hands at your hips. That'll ask a little bit more of your core. You can always start to bring your hands down towards the floor. Right, if the floor is far away, know that you can always use props like a block or 2 blocks, any setting, or something else that could just stand in for a block like a book or a CD case. Another moment, another breath. Who has CDs anymore? Good, and then inhale, rebend your right knee, come back into warrior one. Exhale, 2 hands down, step your right foot back, and take yourself through a vinyasa. Inhale, stay connected to your breath, whatever you choose. Exhale, stay connected, downward facing dog. 1 breath in down dog, there's no rush. Then inhale, raise and reach your left leg up into the air. Exhale, squeeze your knee to your nose. Inhale, raise and reach your left leg up and back, bend your knee, stack your hip, open up. And then inhale, raise and reach your left leg up and back. Exhale, step your left foot forward, come into warrior one. As you enter your warrior one, drive your feet into the floor. Right hip comes forward until it stops, and when it stops, nothing to force. Upper body can finish that rotation. Good. 1 more breath, stretch out of your waist. And then hands to your hips, start to straighten through your left leg. Inhale, puff your heart up high. Exhale, start to reach your heart forward for your pyramid pose. Hands could stay at hips, or hands come to a place that makes sense for you. Drive their left foot into the floor, and then feel for left hip drawing a little bit back as you feel for sits bones reaching up and back. Good, another moment, another breath. And then inhale, rebend your left knee, come back into warrior one, stretch your arms up, reach up. Exhale, 2 hands down, frame your foot, step your left foot back. Take yourself through a vinyasa, it's always your choice. Inhale, full breath. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Good, a moment in down dog. Moment over. Inhale, raise and reach your right leg up into the air, stretch. Exhale, squeeze your knee to your nose, round your spine. Inhale, raise and reach your right leg up and back, bend your knees, stack your hip, 3-legged down dog, little twist. Nice. Inhale, raise and reach your right leg up and back. Exhale, step your right foot forward, come into warrior two. And just a moment in warrior two, plant your feet, reach wide through your arms. And then squeeze your right leg straight, coming into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Reach your right hand forward, 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 forward. And then it starts to come down. Right hand can be on shin, ankle, foot, floor, or a block. Whatever you choose, just notice what it's doing. And especially notice what it's doing to the right side of your body. Try and keep the right ribs reaching toward the top of your mat so you stay long through both sides. Just another moment, just another breath. Then release your left hand down, pivot both toes to the left side of your mat for a wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, think half lift. Exhale, hinge your body forward. As you hinge forward, bend your knees just a little bit. As you bend your knees, feel for reaching your tailbone up. And if at any point it feels like it's a whole lot to reach your tailbone up, it could be because it's a whole lot. If it ever starts to feel like it's too much, you back off a little bit, do a little bit less of that reach up. You can even bend your knees a little bit more. Wherever you are, just a couple breaths. If knees are still bent, you might begin to straighten them, but know that they don't have to straighten all the way. One more breath wherever you are. And then inhale, come up about halfway. Pivot your right toes forward, sweep your arms back up to warrior two. Then flip your front palm, inhale, reach up and back, one breath in your reverse. Then exhale, release two hands down to the mat. Step your right foot back, pause in plank, or lower all the way down for your locust. Inhale, lift up, full breath. Exhale, press back down, we're facing dog, push your mat away. All right, inhale, raise and reach, left leg up into the air. Exhale, squeeze your knee to your nose, round your spine. Inhale, raise and reach, left leg up and back. Bend your knee, stack your hip, open up, three-legged down dog, little twist, little play. Then inhale, raise and reach your left leg up and back. Exhale, step your left foot forward, come into warrior two. As you arrive in your warrior two, just a moment, drive your feet into the floor as you reach your arms apart. And then squeeze your left leg straight. Reach your left hand forward, 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 and down for your triangle pose, Trikonasana. And you can always, again, keep your hands to shin, can come lower, or can come to a block. Just feel for your left side body getting longer. So not just trying to get as low as you can at the expense of collapsing left side, but trying to keep it elevated, long. Good, one more breath. And then release, right hand down, pivot both toes to the right side of your mat. I'm just going to turn around and face the camera so you don't have my butt in your face, but it's a wide-legged forward fold. Again, you can bend your knees to start. Feel for reaching your hips up high. And then you can interlace your hands behind your back. If interlacing your hands is a little bit too much, you can always bring a cloth or a piece of clothing in between your hands to make that connection. Then allow the knuckles to draw forward and down to the degree that you can in your body. And if knees are still bent, you might begin to straighten the legs, but keep feeling for that sense of sending your sits bones away from your heels. Good, just another moment, just another breath. That was probably a moment and definitely a breath. Release your hands. Inhale, come up about halfway. Exhale, pivot your left toes forward, back to warrior two. As you arrive in your warrior two, right into reverse, flip your palm, inhale, take it up and back. Exhale, release two hands down to the mat, step your left foot back, take yourself through your version, your flow. Inhale, full steady breath. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Good, a moment in down dog. And then soften your knees, look between your hands. Take a step or hop up top of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hips down, arms up, come into Utkatasana chair pose. As you come into chair pose, doesn't have to be anything too serious. We'll probably get it a little bit more serious in just a couple of breaths. We'll start to shift the weight into your left foot. Pick your right leg up, bring your right ankle to your left thigh. And then you're in a figure four chair. If you can't quite make that connection, right, don't worry. You can always try and balance on one leg. You can bring the ankle to the shin, or you could always use your hand and just try and keep it there. Drop your hips down a little bit lower. Reach your arms forward in opposition. And it's like you're trying to sit into the back corner of a seat. It's definitely a feeling of butt back, heart forward. And if you recall Sphinx from beginning of class, you could also find a Sphinx-like sensation here. Elbows against your shins, slides your heart forward as you draw your elbows back. Wherever you are, just a moment, just a breath. And then slowly undo it. Inhale, hug your right leg in. Exhale, right foot down to the floor. Inhale, stretch up, reach up. Exhale, dive down, forward fold. Inhale, hips down, arms up, chair pose. Onto the other side. And pour the weight into your right foot, left ankle to thigh or to another place that makes sense for you. And then take a seat. Sit into the back corner of a seat. Reach your tailbone back. Send your heart forward. And you can stay right here or elbows to your shins. Of course, if there's something else you'd like to do here that you know, absolutely. As long as it makes sense in your body and your breath, I'm all for it. Wherever you are, another moment, another breath. And then slowly start to reverse. Hug your left leg in towards your heart. Good, and then release your left foot down to the ground. Inhale, stretch up, reach up. Exhale, dive down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, lengthen long. Exhale, fold, plant your palms, step or hop your feet back. Take yourself through your version, your flow. Inhale, still connected to your breath. Exhale, still connected to your breath. Good, a moment in down dog. And then from your downward dog, soften your knees, look in between your hands. Hop through to a seat. And coming right into a Baddha Konasana. So bring the soles of your feet together. And then sits bones. Draw them back. And then hands can come to your feet. And then start to make your circles. Just like you did at the beginning of this practice. Every time you draw your heart forward, feel for reaching your tailbone backwards, sits bones backwards. And then we gotta go the other way. That's just what we do. A couple of times, go round and round. And that was about a couple. Nice. Take your hands to your knees. Close your knees. And then wrap your arms underneath your thighs, lightly pull away from your thighs, tuck your chin to your chest. And feel for breathing into the broadness of your back. Then as you inhale, start to draw your stomach to your thighs. Walk your hands behind you, push into your hands. Soak your heart towards the ceiling. You might even lift your chin up to open the front of your throat. And one more breath there. And then slowly draw it back to neutral. Wrap your arms underneath your thighs. This time squeeze towards your thighs. We're going to take a forward fold here. So for this forward fold, I'm going to say try and keep your arms wrapped around you. And this just kind of gives you a nice little way to traction out the spine and to give yourself some sort of sense of staying connected to the thighs. And then just start to take one hip back, other hip back, one at a time. And as you start to send your hips back, you'll start to notice the legs begin to straighten. Right at a certain point, if it feels like it's valuable for you to stay in a place, right, stay right there. You go to the degree that seems interesting and valuable for you, which could mean you come down and there's nowhere else to go. Essentially, that's probably what it's going to mean for everybody in one way or another. You're going to come down and you're not going to be able to come down anymore. And if you can sustain that space, stay right there. Feel for tailbone trying to reach back as you continue to reach your heart forward, crown of head forward. And just a few slow, steady breaths here. And then if your arms are underneath you, still let your arms either just lie by your side, or if you wanted to grab for your feet or your toes, you could. And still feel that sense of tailbone reaching back, heart reaching forward. One more breath wherever you are. And then slowly start to draw yourself all the way up. And as you come all the way up, you start to arrive in a seat once again. So for the seat, anything that you want. It can be any of those cross-legged seats. It can also be sitting on your heels or on a block or a pillow if that feels better for you. But just starting to arrive in a shape that feels like you can stay in for about a minute. And once you start to arrive in that spot, if it's available, try and close your eyes. If closing your eyes is a little bit much, you can have your eyes open, right? Totally fine. Try and find a soft place to land and focus. And then from there, just feel for slightly tilting the pelvis forward, so a little bit butt back. And then a little bit belly drawn in and up. Allow your spine to feel fairly long and neutral without feeling like it's too much effort to sustain that shape. And if it does feel like a lot of effort, you can go and place your back up against the wall to help you find a little bit more support. That's totally fine. Once you feel like your body is in a place that works for you for right now, just start to notice what you notice. And for me, it's the breath. Following the inhales, a little bit of suspension at the top of the inhale, and then following the exhales, and that little bit of a pause at the end of the exhale. It could also be simply observing the body, what it feels like to be in it, what it feels like to be surrounded by the space you're in. Or it could be more of a watching of the thoughts come and go. And just knowing it's totally fine. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're noticing, there's no right or wrong way to observe right now. If it does feel like your mind is taking you to a place that doesn't seem necessarily useful for you right now, and I think the important thing is you've noticed you've gone to that place, and that is mindfulness in action. And so you have a choice. And usually coming back to the breath is one of the best ways to come back to the present moment. Just a few more moments here. Trust that you're doing it right. And then take a couple of slightly deeper breaths. And then if eyes are closed, you can cover them up. And then slowly open your eyes up and let the light back in. So you're more than welcome to continue on your seated meditation. Or if you'd like to take a Shavasana, right, take a couple of minutes if you have that. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me today. As always, if you ever have any questions, something that you might be working on in your practice that you want to know more about, feel free to shoot me a message. I'm always available to talk about yoga and this practice in general. Otherwise, have a really fantastic day. Hope you're doing well and healthy, and look forward to practicing with you soon in one way, shape, or form. Thank you so much.